All right, what's up, guys? It is Sunday here, and per the poll that I put out on Twitter last week, the majority of you guys said that Sunday would be the best day to watch these videos. So it's Sunday, and here we are. So for this week, I actually have one of my good friends, Izzy, on the video with me, and she's agreed to come on and talk to you guys a little bit as well about some questions that you guys are having. So the question that we're going to go over this week is what do we look for when we're screening for an overnight trade, a swing trade, or even a day trade? And kind of how we set up our screeners or what exactly it is that we see to initiate a buy. So I got Izzy on here with me because she is a little bit of a different trader than I am. She's primarily a technical based trader, and I'm more of a momentum and volume based trader. So I feel like there's something that you guys can learn from her. Well, there's a lot you guys can learn from her, definitely. So we're lucky to have her on here today with us. So speaking of technical based trading, then a couple weeks ago, I think you were on ICD before it exploded. Did you have it, what, in the 150s?
Yeah, like in the 150, 160 range.
Yeah, do you care to go over a little bit of what it was that you saw with ICD to make you kind of go ahead and buy it?
I mean, so I trade like primarily large cap stocks. So I was already kind of looking over crude and trading like the WTI and just some Canadian based crude stocks,
Yeah.
and decided to scan and see what nano cap and micro cap crude names were out there. I'm a technical trader, so it was mostly sector related and chart related.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that you tweeted out ICD, and I pulled up the chart and I looked at it, and I really liked the chart as well on that one, and the volume wasn't there at the time, but I did go ahead and I took an entry in the 160s, and then I tweeted out my entry just when I decided to enter the play in the 160s, and goodness, it freaking exploded. Like I don't remember exactly how high it went, but it was pretty dang high, so that was a really good find, and that's something, how technicals are still important for any type of trading that you're doing. Whether you're a momentum trader, volume trader, you have to have good technicals there as well. So that was definitely a good find. But the purpose of this video today is we're both going to do a little screen share for you guys to kind of show you just a real quick, simple example of some stuff that we're going to be looking for upcoming plays, whether that's going to be a swing, just a day trade, maybe an overnight. But I want to make a point to you guys in doing all of this, in my opinion at least, that you need to really keep it as simple as possible. There's no need to overcomplicate your screenings or get too stressed out about every little minute detail. Just as simple as possible is usually the best way. Would you agree with that, Izzy?
Yeah, and I feel like even for charts too, like technical trading, I don't really put a whole lot on there. It's mostly moving averages and like the relative strength index, and that's really all I look at.
Yeah.
Like mostly resistance and support lines too.
Yeah, that's good. I think simplicity is definitely your best friend in this game. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at FinViz. And again, since I am a momentum and volume based trader, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys is more related to that. So we'll go ahead and dive right into that. Let me get this going for you guys. All right. So So just looking at FinViz, um, a really good thing to do. This is not completely updated yet because this is from Friday. So if this was a live trading session day and I'm getting on FinViz, then I want to be looking definitely at the top gainers to show me kind of what sector's moving, where the volume's at. And since I know that we all did trade on Friday, everybody knows that TRNX had a really wild day. So Friday, that was definitely one of my main focuses was TRNX. So we'll go ahead and click that right here and just take a quick look down here. The average volume right here, about 21 million. compared to the volume that we had the last couple days, which is just ridiculous. So this definitely meets the criteria for momentum or volume based trading because with this much volume, I mean, that's where everybody's eyes are at right now. And you really want to be trading with that volume if that's your trading style. So this was definitely on my radar. Now, if you're a person that doesn't want to jump into the thing that's already been moving really far, then you want to find that next upcoming play. So a good thing that you can do here is what I like to do is I click right here on the oil and gas because that's what TRNX is. And it's going to show me the similar stocks related to that same industry. And a little quick adjustment, I like to change my market cap. I like to start with negative micro here. Um, and that kind of condenses the list a little bit more for me because these are the type of stocks that I'm more comfortable with because with volume, these stocks tend to move kind of quickly and you can have some really nice moves with that. So just from scanning, and since I've done this Friday, I've looked through these. I'm really interested in FET right now because, again, it's in the same industry and the chart, it's kind of bottomed out, which is really what I like to look for is bottomed out stocks that is trading with the trend, which that means whatever industry is moving the current week, then I kind of want to put my focus right there. So I really like how it's bottomed out down here because that means there's less risk and more reward. So there's much more upside for this stock than there is downside. And after watching what TRNX just did, then FET is definitely on my radar for next week. And again, we can look down here. We got this average volume compared to the volume that we just had. So there's a big spike in volume, which tells me, hey, something is up with this. And you could take a speculative overnight entry or, jump in for a swing or what have you. Um, so outside of that, one last thing that I like to look for when I'm trying to find my next trades that I want to show you guys. I've talked about this in previous videos, but just to do a quick recap on it, then I'll go to Biofarm Catalyst and I'll look down through the FDA calendar here because volume based and momentum traders, catalysts are going to be your friends because catalysts always bring volume. So if you can kind of scroll through this list and understand what catalysts are good and what catalysts aren't, then that can give you an edge on knowing where the volume might be coming to very soon. So this would be more of swing based trading if you're kind of anticipating a catalyst to bring you volume. So for me, that's a real quick, simple way of what I'm screening for intraday. Um, and other than that, it's just watching the top movers of the day, looking for your pullbacks and entries, and taking advantage of that volume. So after going over that with you guys, I'd kind of like to turn it over to Izzy right now to maybe show us something on the technical side of some different things that you can be looking for each day with your screeners.
Yeah, let me just
Yeah,
set that
good.
in. Can you see that there?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. Dang. Okay, so I use Finviz too for most of my screening. I don't screen a whole lot anymore, but when I do, if I'm looking at doing like a swing trade on a microcap stock, I normally go in here and I don't typically screen for unusual volume like a lot of volume traders do. Like I kind of like finding them prior to the volume rolling in.
Yeah.
And normally, like there's a few things that I look for. I find with like sector related plays, like healthcare right now is really big. Oil is really big.
Mm-hmm.
Technology is another thing that's doing really well right now too. I I do like looking at oversold stocks, and that doesn't necessarily mean that there's always going to be something that populates in the screener. So I do things the hard way, and I kind of just scan with very basic things in here. Like I'll select the sector that I'm looking at. So, for instance, when I was looking for ICD, I had put in basic materials in there. Um, Sometimes I do stick with just Nasdaq stocks, but
Mhm.
I'm more comfortable trading Nasdaq stocks.
Yeah, I like
Um,
NASDAQ as well.
yeah. Um, Same thing with Gary for market cap. I tend to stick with um, like the micro kind of trading under the 300 million.
Hmm.
But I don't really select that filter there. I normally just start from nano and work my way up. And that's kind of how I spotted ICD.
Yeah.
Like initially, I found it on here. I really like the chart. So that's the second thing I normally do is once I see a name that I kind of like for instance, I'll kind of just like hover over this, see what populates in terms of the chart. And if it looks appealing to me, then I'll pull it up in stock charts.
Hmm.
So initially, when I had pulled this one up here, um, it's probably back in like this range or so. And as you can see, there wasn't really any volume there. Um, I always look for the 5 day as my first indicator, and then a break over the 20 day is normally when I think that the stock price will start moving up. Um, so for starters, I usually like to wait for the 5 and 10 day to hold, and that's where I look to enter. My target on this one was the 50 day average, which it clearly went like way above that. I was out in this, like 354 range, but I do like playing things a little bit safe. I'm not really a momentum trader, so um, I closed that position. But even after it broke the 50 day, I mean, it
Which you had, what was it, 150s entry and exit over four?
started.
Was it that you had the 150s entry and then an exit over four?
Yeah, I think I actually entered at 160, but
Hmm.
I initially spotted it around 150, and my exit was closer to, I'm pretty sure it was under four, but
Yeah, well, either way, that's a really nice ride up from,
yeah, and like you can see that the volume kind of rolled in on its own. So it wasn't very liquid when I initially was playing this, but I'm a swing trader, so I kind of buy and then usually hold for, about a week or two, depending on, if there's any upcoming catalysts too.
yeah.
Another thing I like doing is I like using Yahoo Finance. I look at key statistics on the stock. Um, the main things I look at is, if there's any cash on hand,
Hmm.
average volume, the float is like really important. So with this one, I noticed it was a tiny float. So I figured once the volume came in, this thing would move really fast, which was part of the reason why I took my exit when I did, because it can come down just as fast.
That's a really good point, and I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like a lot of people they don't think about that with these low float stocks. Yeah, they can rise really quickly, but they can fall just as quick as they went up. So it's always important to keep that in mind when you're trading anything because you don't want to give back all of your profit or even take a loss. So it's really
I
good to
think
keep
with
that in
any trade,
mind.
really, you should go in with like a entry target and an exit target.
Always. Yeah, you
Um,
always got to have those targets predefined and execute. Even you talking about ICD, you entered around 160 and you exited around four, and it did, I think it hit around $15, which is still a lot more upside. But you executed your plan, you made money on the trade, and it was stress free for you that way.
It was, and I mean, I did look at the chart again and analyzed it for someone that maybe is more high risk than I am,
Mhm.
just to kind of give the next technical play in um, my chart on there. I kind of figured that above its 50 day around six, it would probably target the 100 day near 12, which it did, but I didn't. I decided to just take my profits and leave that. But some momentum traders would have probably jumped in at 6 and tried playing the ride up.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing, with momentum trading and technical trading, even with momentum trading, you have to understand the technicals. That you can't just blindly wait for volume. The trade that you're going to be taking, the technicals have to be strong too. You don't want to buy something that's really overextended and just say, well, it's just going to keep going up. It has to. You have to have some understanding of the technicals with your momentum. So it's definitely good to understand both styles of trading and take pieces and make it your own little trading style.
Yeah, that's something I really did when I first started trading microcaps because I initially started trading I've been trading for over 10 years, and it was initially Canadian stocks, like
Yeah.
strictly Canadian stocks. And then I transitioned into, small cap or microcap uh, US bio stocks.
Hmm.
And then from there I started trading large cap options. But um, whenever there's more volatility in the microcap world, I usually jump back in. But
Yeah.
I always started with an entry price and then kind of executed a plan, which I'll actually post on my Twitter, like the plan outlines that I used to have before when I first started trading these things. Like I would write everything down on paper, and I mean, you could use Excel if you wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. Um, but kind of what I wanted to do now is wrap this video up because I feel like we both given some, just real simple methods of how to find your next plays. And these, both of these methods are not by any means the end all be all and the only thing that you need to be doing. But I feel like while you're trying to learn this, then both of these things are really, really good things to be doing to keep you focused on what's important and not so much of just all kinds of random stuff. Like I've had just people telling me just random stuff, look at this or look at that. And I'm just like, man, like I really think you're overcomplicating this and it's not as hard as it might seem. So just keep it simple. And I feel like that's the best for your trading. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Izzy?
No, I mean, same thing with my charts. I like just keeping things really clean and simple, and don't overcomplicate things because
Mhm.
you can find yourself, especially with ideas too. I mean, I do use Twitter obviously, but I'm not really on there jumping back and forth from stock to stock, or I'm not on stock twits. Like kind of just, I think once you have too many ideas, it can really clutter. And it's like going back to what you said.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, there are some really great people on Twitter. Like me, I'm the momentum trader. There's some really great accounts on Twitter that sometimes can get your eyes on things like Mullins Momentum is a great account, Zach Morris. They can really get your eyes on things that you might not have been looking at. But still, have your own plan, analyze the trade, and make sure you know what you're buying into. And I feel like that's important before you just start randomly jumping into anything. Is know why and what you're buying and have your entry exit plan.
Yeah, which is why I think charts are important, because you can
Mhm.
kind of have like a historical data
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
stock that you're trading based on price.
Yeah, and now did I hear you correctly that you're actually going to be starting a YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, so I just created my account. It's same handle as my Twitter handle. It's underscore miss underscore Izzy.
Yeah,
So
and that will be linked at the bottom of the video as well. So if all you guys can do me a favor, and when that channel gets up and run, then definitely go check it out and hit the subscribe button over there as well. I'm sure there'll be more quality content coming out for you guys to learn from. Um, as always, feel free to comment on this video if there's any question that you have, or if we just completely butchered explaining something to you and you need it said in a different way. I understand. Um, but other than that, then feel free to keep messaging me on Twitter for the next question that you might have or anything like that. But thanks, guys.
thank you.